Hi everyone. I'm so excited to tell you about something. But right now, I'm sitting in my garden in beautiful Santa Fe. And here's the news that I want to share with you. I just finished publishing my third memoir, which is From Doctor to Healer. And it's part of a trilogy, which the first one starts Medicine and Miracles in the High Desert about my life with the Navajo people. And that book starts with an encounter with a mountain lion who sniffed me when I was in my sleeping bag in Utah, camped by myself. And he was about 4 inches from my face. And I don't know why he didn't kill me. But I went to a Navajo woman who's known as a prophet. And I asked her why the mountain lion didn't kill me. And she said it was because he was my spirit guide. So that's the name of the press for this book, is Spirit Guide, in honor of that mountain lion. She said he came to you specifically to give you his strength, courage, and perseverance, because that's what you would need, because you are going to face some very big obstacles in your life. And if you survive, you will have powerful medicine to give to the people. I wrote all this down, translated it, her granddaughter translated it, and I wrote every word down in my diary. So it affected me over the years. I was waiting for these big obstacles to happen, and they happened. And it's all written in this third memoir. Some really horrendous things happened to me, and I did almost lose my life, and I did end up, just as the grandmother said 55 years ago, that I would have powerful medicine to give to the people. So these terrible experiences I had with my health, one being sort of poisoned in a clinic that was run by corporations, and it was not very satisfying medicine. I did it because I was a single parent, needed to come home every day at 5 to take care of my child and be there on the weekends. So I made a deal with the devil, and it was really an eye-opening experience that I had. And I saw really good doctors turning into robots when they had just about 15 minutes to treat their patients. It was pretty disturbing. And I felt stuck there because I needed the money, and I needed the good hours and the freedom to be with my son on the weekends and the evenings, and not delivering babies all night or dealing with emergencies. But then something happened. I got poisoned by all the chemicals that they use, pesticides that are known to cause brain damage, and they damaged my brain, and disinfectants and air fresheners and all sorts of toxic chemicals. And it impacted me very badly. I found out later, when I studied environmental medicine, that genetically I don't clear toxins very well in my liver. So everybody was affected, but I was the worst affected. And so I had to leave, and I thought my life was over, and I didn't see how I was going to earn a living because I was so damaged. But pretty soon people started coming to my house and asking for an appointment. I was so confused, and they would pay me, and I didn't do anything, and they kept trying to explain to me that I was the only doctor that really took them seriously and listened to them and felt their pain. But eventually, studying environmental medicine so I could heal myself, I could heal the patients too. So we all grew up together, and pretty soon I had, through word of mouth, I never advertised, I had patients from all over the country. And so that was my first big obstacle I overcame to, quote, give powerful medicine to the people. But then I had another horrible disaster, hit by a snowboarder. That was really almost destroyed my life. And it was very, very hard to come to terms with what happened to me. I mean, my brain was damaged. I had to have brain surgery. I was fractured, and my eyes were damaged and so forth. I couldn't sleep for a year. It was a really horrible situation. And eventually I thought, well, I have two choices. I can commit suicide, but I couldn't do that. It would ruin my son's life. Or I could figure out how to deal with this. First, I had to accept the new me and stop mourning for the old person. And I had to learn how to manage all these problems with the vision, the balance, all that stuff, the lack of sleep. And then the third thing is I had to train my brain over and over and over so it rewired itself for joy. And that took a lot of repetition. And eventually, people would say to me, "You're the most joyous person I've ever met." I was joyful in spite of it all. It didn't mean I was all better, but I felt joy in spite of what I was dealing with. And it was like going through a portal of major transformation. And now I could really help people even on a deeper level, because I had experienced suffering that other people, you know, are in such bad shape, they want to commit suicide too. Then they can't find anyone to help them. And so I was able to go very, very deep with my patients and help them on a deep level. And this story has a very, very happy ending. And I wrote it not just because of the love of writing, because, you know, I have other things I could be doing. I did it because I thought this could help so many people, because most adults have encountered mainstream medicine. They've experienced that. And most adults have had some kind of disaster or adversity they had to overcome. So it's actually, in spite of all the horrible things, this is actually an uplifting book. And the book ends with a feeling of just total joy. So I hope you enjoy this. I wrote it for all of you, and that's the truth.